Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture for the course Applied Thermodynamics. We will continue with the steam generators. Under that we will cover fire tube boilers today. Myself Sumit Bardia, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Sharad Institute of Technology, College of Engineering, Etra. Today we will cover the following points: definition of fire tube boilers, types of fire tube boilers, under that simple vertical boiler, Cochran boiler, Cornish boiler, locomotive boiler, Scotch marine boiler, and advantages and disadvantages of fire tube boilers, and lastly applications of fire tube boilers. We have discussed already about the difference between water tube boilers and fire tube boilers. Fire tube boilers have hot gases inside the tubes which is surrounded with the water, and the reverse case of about the water tube boilers. In water tube boilers, water flows in the tube which is surrounded by the flue gases. Okay, so here the figure shows the furnace in which the hot flue gases are passes through the tubes. Number of horizontal tubes are there, and then it passes through the chimney which is released to the atmosphere. Now these tubes are surrounded with the water. So here water will absorb heat from the tubes, from the flue gases from the tubes, and it converts into steam which is released from the another end, which is steam out. This is steam out, hot gases out. So this is a smoke box. From that the hot flue gases are released to the atmosphere. So basically fire tube boiler, we are indicator is the hot flue gases are flowing in the horizontal tubes. So that is the indicator of the fire tubes. You need to remember this thing. Now the types of boilers, fire tube boilers. In that, first one is simple vertical boilers. Simple vertical boiler consists of a cylindrical shell, the greater portion of which is full of water here, which surrounds the firebox also, and the remaining is the steam space. Above the water level, the steam space is there. At the bottom of the firebox, there is a grate on which the fuel is burnt, and the ash falls on the ash pit. The firebox is provided with the two cross tubes. This increases the heating surface and the circulation of the water. The cross tubes are fitted inclined. This ensures efficient circulation of water. At the end of each cross tubes are provided with hand holes to give access for cleaning these tubes. Combustion gases, after heating the water and thus converting into steam, escape to the atmosphere through the chimney. Manhole is provided to clean the interior and the interior of the boiler and the exterior of the combustion chamber and chimney. So various mountings are provided here, that is steam stop valve, safety valve, pressure gauge, water level indicator, feed check valve, manhole. So that is mounted on the boiler. Flow of combustion gases and the circulation of water in water jackets are indicated by arrows. So here arrows are shown which indicates the flow of flue gases and circulation of water. The rate of production in such a boiler is normally does not exceed 2500 kg per hour, and the pressure normally limited to 7.5 to 10 bar. A simple vertical boiler is self-contained and can be transported easily. Next is The Cochran boiler. It is one of the best types of the vertical multitubular boiler and has a number of horizontal fire tubes. Cochran boiler consists of a cylindrical shell with a dome-shaped top where the space is provided for steam. The furnace is one-piece construction and is seamless. Its crown has a hemispherical shape and thus provides maximum volume of space. The fuel is burnt on the grate and ash is collected and disposed of from ash pit. The gases of combustion produced by burning of fuel enter the combustion chamber through the flue tube and strike against fire brick lining, which directs them to pass through number of horizontal tubes. So these are number of horizontal tubes are provided here, being surrounded by the water, after which the gases escapes to the atmosphere through the smoke box and chimney. A number of hand holes are provided around the outer shell for cleaning purposes. The various boiler mountings are safety valve, steam stop valve, pressure gauge, water level gauge, manhole, blow off cock, etc. Here also the path of combustion gases and circulation of water are shown by the arrows. Cornish boiler. This form of boiler was adopted by Trevithick, the Cornish engineer, at the time of introduction of high pressure steam to the early Cornish engine and is still used. It consists of cylindrical shell with flat ends through which passes a smaller flue tube containing the furnace. The products of combustion pass from the fire grate forward over the brickwork bridge to the end of the furnace tube. They then return by the two side flues to the front end of the boiler and again pass to the back end of the flue along the bottom of the boiler to the chimney. The various boiler mountings are steam stop valve, pressure gauge, water gauge, fusible plug, blow off cock, high steam low water safety valve, feed check valve and manhole. So these are mountings which the Cornish boiler using. The advantage possessed by this type of boiler is that the sediment contained in the boiler in the water falls to the bottom where the plates are not brought into contact with the hottest portion of the furnace gases. The reason for carrying the product of combustion first through the side flues and lastly through the bottom flue is because the gases, having parted with much of their heat by the time they reach the bottom flue, are less liable to unduly heat the plates in the bottom of the boiler where the sediment may have collected. Next boiler is locomotive boiler. It is mainly employed in locomotives, though it may also be used as a stationary boiler. It is compact and its capacity for steam production is quite high for its size, as it can raise large quantity of steam rapidly. Dimension and the specifications of the locomotive boilers that actually we are making in the Chittaranjan, which works in India. The locomotive boiler consists of a cylindrical barrel with a rectangular firebox at one end and the smoke box at the other end. The coal is introduced through the fire hole into the grate, which is placed at the bottom of the firebox. The hot gases which are generated due to burning of coal are deflected by an arc of fire bricks so that the walls of the firebox may be heated properly. The firebox is entirely surrounded by water except for the fire hole and the ash pit, which is situated below the firebox, which is fitted with dampers at its front ends. These are the dampers, and also at back ends. The dampers control the flow of air to the grate. The hot gases pass from the firebox to a smoke box through a series of fire tubes. So here the series of fire tubes are there. And then they are discharged into the atmosphere through the chimney. So this is discharge flow through the chimney. It is released to the atmosphere. The fire tubes are placed inside the barrel. Some of these tubes are of larger diameter and others are of smaller diameter. The superheated tubes are placed inside the fire tubes of larger diameter. The heat of the hot gases is transmitted into the water through the heating surface of the fire tubes. The steam generated is collected over the water surface. A dome-shaped chamber, here the dome-shaped chamber is there, known as steam dome, is fitted on the upper part of the barrel, from where the steam flow through a steam pipe into the chamber. The flow of steam is regulated by means of regulator. From the chamber it passes through the superheater tubes and returns to the superheated steam chamber, from which it is led to the cylinders through the pipes, one to each cylinder. In this boiler, natural draught cannot be obtained because it requires a very high chimney which cannot be provided on the locomotive boiler, since it has to run on rails. Thus, some artificial arrangement has to be used to produce a correct draught. As such, the draught here is produced by exhaust steam from the cylinder, which is discharged through the blast pipe to the chimney. Exhaust steam. When the locomotive is standing and no exhaust steam is available from the engine, fresh steam from the boiler is used for the purpose. Various mountings are used in this boiler, such as safety valves, pressure gauge, water level indicator, fusible plug, manhole, blow-off cock, feed check valve, etc. A locomotive boilers have some merits and demerits. Merits are: it gives a high steam capacity, low cost of construction, portability, low installation cost, compact. Demerits are: there are chances of corrosion and the scale formation in the water legs due to the accumulation of sediments and the mud particles, difficult to clean some water spaces, large flat surfaces need bracing, it cannot carry high overloads without being damaged by overheating, and there are practical construction limit also for the pressure and capacity which do not meet the requirements. Last boiler is Scotch marine boiler. The Scotch type marine boiler is probably the most popular boiler for steaming capacities up to 1000 kg per hour and the pressure of about 17 bar. It is of compact size and occupies very small floor space. Here figure shows a single-ended Scotch type marine boiler. It consists of cylindrical shell in which are incorporated 1 to 4 cylindrical corrugated steel furnaces. A combustion chamber is located at the back end of the furnace and is also surrounded by water. A combustion chamber is located at back end. Usually each furnace has its own combustion chamber. A nest of fire tubes run from the front tube plate to the back tube plates. Here the hot gases produced due to burning of fuel move to the combustion chamber. Then they travel to the smoke box through the fire tubes and finally leave the boiler via uptake and through the chimney. It is in the double-ended Scotch boiler furnaces are provided at each end. They look like single-ended boilers placed back to back. A double-ended boiler for same evaporation capacity is very cheaper and occupies less space as compared to the single-ended boiler. So that is about these types of boilers. Now we will discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of fire tube boilers. Here the advantages are listed here. That is, fire tube boiler is so easy to use, operate, clean and maintain. It can be used in small scale industries also. It is relatively cheaper than the water tube boilers. What are the disadvantages? From the furnace combustion side, required time to fill water is longer than to increase the temperature and pressure. So required time is very longer. Efficiency of heat transfer is very low. In case of bombers, fire tube boiler would be very dangerous. A fire tube boiler cannot produce steam at a pressure higher than the 250 pounds per square inch. So we are already discussed that the fire tube has a limitation up to 16 bar pressure. Capacity of generated steam is limited. So that is advantages and disadvantages of fire tube boiler that we need to remember. And the last about the applications of fire tube boiler, which is the fire tube boilers are used in power plants, for heating up the buildings, which is used in the industrial sectors also, and it is used to turn the turbines, drive the turbine. So these are the applications of fire tube boiler. Okay, we will stop here and we will continue with the next lecture about the water tube boilers in the next lecture. Thank you.